that's probably the 10th mosquito I've seen today. Any more bites and I'll start looking like a pepperoni pizza.
That wasn't a mosquito, it was a crane fly. Get your animal anatomy right.
If it looks like a mosquito and acts like a mosquito, it's a mosquito to me.
This person is a lost cause.
Right?
We just had to know where to look.
It's amazing how the scientists got the dinosaur blood from the mosquito, which contained the dino DNA. How creative! Who would have thought about that?
It sounds creative, but not really that smart in reality.
What? How so? Are you saying the mosquito didn't drink dinosaur blood?
I mean, I'm sure they did, but do all mosquitoes drink blood?
Don't they?
Only the female ones do. The male ones do not. Did you happen to notice if the sample mosquito from the movie is male or female?
What's the difference between them?
Let's take a look. The mosquito in the movie has a bushy tail, indicating that it's a male mosquito. Now, do you think the sample mosquito drank any dinosaur blood?
No, it can't be possible. Wait, then how did the scientists collect the dino blood sample?
Exactly. I don't know about you, but that doesn't make much sense to me.
Okay, but you know what was kind of cool? How the scientists used frog DNA to fill in the gaps with the dino DNA.
Unfortunately, it's not that simple. They need a substantial amount of dinosaur DNA to create an organism that's more of a dinosaur than a frog. And finding intact dino DNA anywhere, let alone in a preserved mosquito, is highly unlikely. And even if scientists do end up finding some, they'd have to be very careful to not contaminate it with DNA from modern humans or microbes.
Let's say that scientists do find it and can extract it. Then what?
Well, if that's the case, you'd have to find regions of DNA that are conserved between the dinosaur and the frog. Then maybe you could use frog DNA to fill in the missing parts in those regions. Though, depending on the type of dinosaur, you might have better luck using a chicken. But again, all of that's pretty tough to do.
Wait, what do you mean chicken?
There's a strong consensus among scientists that the birds of today are the direct descendants of dinosaurs. Birds are thought to have descended from a group of two-legged dinosaurs called theropods, which include the T-Rex and velociraptors.
Well, the dinosaurs in the movie don't really look like birds.
You're right, they don't. And that was actually more of an artistic choice from the director Steven Spielberg. In the 1990s, mounting fossil evidence made it pretty clear that many different dinosaurs had feathers and hollow bones, both of which are characteristics of modern birds. But to Spielberg, feathered dinosaurs just didn't seem scary enough.
I don't know about that. Have you even seen geese?
Right. My point is that science and technology are helping us piece together what dinosaurs really looked like. For instance, this is what the Dilophosaurus from the movie looks like compared to a more modern depiction.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
I mean, I was just thinking, if birds are basically dinosaurs, then those dinosaur chicken nuggets aren't a lie.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so no real Jurassic Park yet, but could you do the same thing with me? But instead of using the DNA from a frog, maybe a spider, a bat, a lizard?
Not quite, though introducing one organism's DNA into the DNA of another organism isn't unheard of. It's called recombinant DNA technology, and it has lots of practical applications in fields like medicine and agriculture.
So I can't just inject myself with some spider DNA and wake up the next morning shooting webs?
I don't think we're there yet, though there has been a lot of research done in the last few decades regarding gene therapy, which involves replacing a mutated gene with a functional one. In humans, gene therapy holds promise of treating diseases like diabetes, cystic fibrosis, and cancer.
Could I just use gene therapy to inject myself with Usain Bolt's genes?
No.
Gee, it was so funny how that kid Timmy flew straight to the ground when he got electrocuted.
Timmy wouldn't have been electrocuted in the first place.
Hello, how do you get shocked by 10,000 volts and not get shocked? I'm surprised he didn't die.
Well, it's very similar to how birds don't get electrocuted when they are perched on electrical wires we see around the city.
Oh yeah, it's because birds have the ability to harness electricity and that gives them the ability to fly.
What? Where do you even get this information? Never mind that. Let me teach you a lesson in electric currents to help you understand why Timmy didn't get electrocuted. So in electric currents, it's basically the movement of electron from a higher density of electron to a lower density of electron. Now these densities are called volts. So when you have higher density of electron, it is higher volts. When you have lower density of electron, it's lower volts. So when electron goes from higher volt to lower volt, That's where you have electric movement. Now see, in the same wire, there is not much of a difference in volts. So when a bird is sitting on a wire and both legs are on the same wire, so there's not much of a difference and the bird survives because the bird doesn't get shocked. But when the bird has two legs in two different wires, obviously the two wires have difference in electric volts that is significant, and the birds get shocked.
But in Jurassic Park, Timmy is touching different wires.
I was getting into that. Even though Timmy was touching different wires, all of the wires had the same electric potential because they are connected. Since there is no difference in electric potential in the wires, so current didn't flow through Timmy, so he shouldn't be electrocuted after all.
Science is crazy. I'm still wrapping my head around how Timmy wouldn't have been electrocuted. Is everything a lie?
Maybe you should take a nap?
No time for naps. I've still got another question. Was it really possible for one of the female dinosaurs to have a sex change?
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
Well, the movie did have some part of it right. Some West African frogs do have the ability to change from a female to a male.
Holy smokes!
Yep, so it can happen for those frogs, but the process of turning into a male from a female involves a complex mechanism that includes many genes that act together. It's highly unlikely that the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park had the ability to do this since it's such a complex process. It's unlikely that the scientists deliberately gave the dinosaurs this ability, and even more unlikely that the dinosaurs had the ability by chance as well.
What about evolution? Couldn't the dinosaurs evolve to somehow be a male?
In the situation that it did happen, evolution does not happen fast like that. It would take several hundred to maybe 1,000 years.
Seriously? Ain't nobody got time for that? I'm just really glad that Professor Allen was at least there to help Timmy after they got electrocuted. Their quick thinking and choice to use CPR helped bring him back.
All right, first and foremost, make sure to read the signage on any electric fence just to make sure you don't get hurt. In the case of this fence scene, the easier option would have probably been just crawling through it. In the case that you ever have to perform CPR on an unconscious individual, you're going to want to compress the chest continuously at the rate of 100 to 120 beats per minute, similar to the beat of staying alive.
A good trick is to pump to the tune of Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. Do you know that song?
Yes, I do. I love that song. First I was afraid, I was petrified.
No, it's staying alive,
Okay. Yes,
staying
yes.
alive.
You were in the parking lot earlier. That's how I know you.
Professor Allen makes the right call of using rescue breaths to help out Timmy. It's related to the nature of the needed CPR. Unless you know the victim requires CPR because of a respiratory-related issue, compression alone should be able to assist the victim to regain oxygen flow to their body.
You're just hating on Professor Allen because you don't know much about dinosaurs as they do.
Hey, I'll have you know I graduated from UCSD, top of my class.
UC? Socially dead? Boo.
Hey man, I worked hard for that degree. I may not know as much about the Jurassic era as these fictional experts do, but I've been focused on learning with the rest of the pros to bring critical misconception content for the viewers at home.
She's not wrong. Learning is an active and reflective process that you will always be in.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Dang, I didn't mean to call you out like that. Thanks for teaching me about my misconceptions.
It's my job. You give me a lot of material to work with. Boom, roasted. But in all seriousness, that last survival tip is more based on reminding people of the importance of certification in action. As a professor, but moreover the lead investigator in that situation, we assumed that Professor Allen had the proper credentials for CPR, as rescue breath should only be completed by someone with the proper credentials, as uncredentialed persons can put themselves at risk in attempting to do so.
I let you have this one. Overall, I think Jurassic Park was a good movie. Those dinosaurs were pretty scary and able to learn quickly.
Just the two raptors, right? You sure the third one's contained?
Yes. Unless they figured out how to open doors.
I can't believe that the velociraptors were able to get their way into the kitchen. Talk about being a predator.
Well, I could explain why that's wrong, but I do want to give someone else the chance.
I might be able to help there. I dabbled in some biophysics and dinosaur locomotion in one of my upper division electives. Given the evidence from the bone structure of the velociraptor, we're able to see that the first and foremost, the velociraptors in Jurassic Park were nothing like their real-life counterparts. Originally, they had their wrist pointed internally and did not have the capability to pronate their wrist. Because of such, they would lack the ability to make use of the lever mechanism.
English, please?
Sorry, I was having flashbacks of essay question from that class. Basically, the velociraptor would not be able to open the door with their wrist due to inability to rotate their wrist and pull the lever down effectively for it to open.
But didn't they say that life always finds a way?
I mean, it's possible, but we might be getting into some gray areas there. Some kind of understanding would have led to come about on the raptors' end in order to associate the opening with their hunt. But nevertheless, the body structure shown in the movie goes against the believed bone structure of the velociraptor. As a result of such, allows for this incorrect notion to find grounding.
So what I'm hearing is that I might be right?
Find a raptor-related species with pronatable wrist and we can talk. Actually, while you are at it, do you mind finding me a T-Rex that can sneak in their way into a narrow passage in order to hunt some velociraptors?
You know what? That was bothering me too, but isn't it more along the lines of lack of sound?
You got that right. Considering the size of T-Rex and its average weight of 9 tons, one would assume that its motion would be easily audible, which was attributed earlier in the movie. The presence of overarching walls would trap the sound and would increase the loudness.
You know, for a pretty old movie, it's got a lot of things somewhat correct, right?
Yeah, but it proves the need to be critical of previous and current understandings of the world. Everyday folks are out creating or finding new applications of knowledge. As we find new information, we have to update our current understandings.